woman wrote the first draft of Empire Strikes Back. One of like the first good movies.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't give a shit if a woman writes. That's fine. It's specifically ones with political agendas.
And specifically one that sounds like I need to hang up my phone before I get scammed.
That's what I was thinking. Imagine she calls you and she's like, "This is so and so. Would you like to be in the next Star Wars movie?" You're like, "Quit you fucking
Get
scammers!
out of here!
Are you kidding me? Let me guess. All you need is my social security number, huh? Yeah, all right,
all right. Here's my birth date. Here's my credit card number. I'll be Han Solo's kid.
She does. Do you think she's gonna call Han Solo about the Millennium Falcon's extended warranty? That's racist. Okay, now this woman is, she's a feminist activist, like we said. She's on pictures with Hillary Clinton. She also spoke at the 2013 annual summit for none other than the World Economic Forum. I love how all these goons just roll together and they all of them. Birds of a feather flock together. The whole World Economic Forum, jackwagon thugs, they all roll together and they all have these little agendas that they push out through media.
I'm sick of it. All right. Once you said World Economic Forum, I was like, that's it. That's it. Right? She kidnaps children. That's
allegedly.
We
need an allegedly button. An alleged that's the next sound effect is an alleged, because we're gonna have to use that a lot. Mia will play that all the time, so I don't have to say it to avoid getting sued.
I mean, there has to be a ton of it used in Better Call Saul.
Of allegedly.
Oh,
I'm sure there's plenty. We'll scope out the next, the best one. We'll figure it out. Don't you worry. But yeah, no, and here's the thing is what people don't realize is culture is what influences politics, not vice versa. Politicians do not change culture. Politicians enact laws that they were voted in by the people controlling they were voted in typically by the people controlling the culture, right? So entertainment influences culture, which it then influences politics and influences our day-to-day lives. So
this is why Republicans, conservatives lose.
It is.
Constantly.
It's because we don't give a shit about it. We think we can sit there and talk boring policy.
And it's like, no, you have to be involved in culture. Joe McCarthy
Joe
was on the right path.
Joe McCarthy was. We're gonna start selling T-shirts that say Joe McCarthy was right, because he was. He's been proven right every single day over the last 5 years in this country.
Because he didn't go after politicians. He went after writers. He went after people in Hollywood. He was blacklisting people.
Yep.
You know, when you cast a net, you might get the wrong people, but he was correct most of the time. And now look where we're at.
He knew that the entertainment would influence the culture, which would then influence the politics, not vice versa. So yes, when you control entertainment, you're going to naturally influence people, because that's what young people are consuming. Young people aren't watching C-SPAN for the most part. They're not watching political YouTube channels. They're watching TV. They're watching movies. They're listening to podcasts. They're listening to music. They're not watching political speeches. They're not going to rallies. You have to find a way to control the culture, and which starts with the entertainment side.
The struggle to get like young people to sign up to go to the speeches to meet the politicians on the right is so tough. It is such a struggle. You have to
because they're boring.
You have to overpromise.
Yeah, they're boring. Yeah.
And they don't understand this. So, like, culture is such a big difference to this. And
absolutely, it's completely influenced us driving off a cliff.
And what I hate so much is every time the movies bomb at the box office, they're like, lowest weekend only made 220 million. It's like, I don't care that's the lowest weekend. Do you still know how many people went to see it?
Yeah.
You know how much it's going to be influence, how it's on the streaming services?
And it won't make a bunch of movie at the theaters, but once it hits the streaming services, you're going to have millions and millions of people viewing it.
We're not in the same box office era that we once were.
Yeah.
All right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, their influence is going to reach out. Their messaging, everything is going to be out there.
Right.
So stop crying about what happens at the box office.
Well, and that's why when you hear about like woke directors taking on movie franchises like this, and people hear conservatives complaining, they're like, we have bigger fish to fry. No, we literally don't. Because all of the problems we're dealing with right now were created by people who were voted in by people that were influenced by the culture which the left controls. That's what. So yes, it is a big problem when a World Economic Forum thug that's also a feminist activist takes on what's arguably the biggest movie franchise of all time. That's a serious issue. That's a lot more serious than, oh no, C-3PO is going to be a tranny now. It's a big problem. It's seriously. I don't know. What were you gonna say?
No, I wish they cared more about the influences of their policy more than like the policy itself.
Right.
Because you're on the tail end. And the people that they hate so much, the left that these conservative talking heads hate so much, are created because of the culture.
Yep.
They are these politicians. AOC was not some intellectual that came out with these policy ideas.
No.
She was bred by the entertainment, the culture.
What was that toddler show we played a week ago, Mia? With the kid in the dress with the two gay dads.
Coco Melon.
Coco Melon. Yeah, I mean, when you see them talking about transgender toddlers on shows that are basically marketed to babies, you see where this shit starts early and why it's so important.
Hey.
We have handed, and that's what I said, why we're running into problems, because the right handed over the keys to not just entertainment, but also education, both of which control the minds of the youths, right? No, both of which influence the youth far more than any economic or foreign policy does. Way, way more than that. We've handed the keys over and just let the left drive the car, and now they're driving us off a cliff. And we finally started to take notice, but it's going to be a good 2 or 3 generations before we see any type of meaningful change. And that's if we can even get a foothold, because they've just established such a grip over the culture and over the education system in this country that we have completely lost Gen Z. Gen Alpha, you can write them off as well. I don't know what's coming next, but that's our next best hope.
Because when you're looking at the music, because like if you take music apart, there's Tom McDonald, the rapper,
who's cringy as hell,
yeah.
Mind you. I there's a couple Tom McDonald songs I like that aren't political. Like Ghost was one of our wedding songs.
Yeah.
I like that song. Most of his music's cringy.
Yeah.
There's a couple right-leaning people. We played one in the show. His name's Dax. He's a rapper.
He's good. I like him.
Falling in Reverse, the rock band. Ronnie Radke's pretty conservative. There's a couple, but they are far outweighed by the people that are glorifying demons and Satanism, like the Lil Nas X's of the world, the Little Uzis, the Kid Cudis,
Doja Cat,
TV
Sam Smith. Like, they are out there just promoting this. It's in front of your face. Mm-hmm. And there are still conservatives who won't even dare listen to any thought of that being satanic, that being disgusting.
Yeah.
They won't even listen to it. And so, because like when it comes to like movies, I am seeing a shift of more popular movies. I mean, we saw that with the guy who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ.
That's Sound of Freedom, which we just watched, by the way. Very, very heavy movie. Gave my wife nightmares.
Yeah,
so,
there is that movie. There is one with Neil McDonough called The Shift.
Haven't heard of it.
Neil McDonough, he blonde hair, blue eyes. He plays villains because
sounds like your kind of guy.
He said he plays villains because he's faithful to his wife and he doesn't want to kiss another woman.
Well, Rotten Tomato gave it 2 stars. So
The Shift, is that the review by the people or the critics?
I want to clarify. You don't have to kiss another woman. You don't have to kiss somebody or have sex with them on camera or imply sex on camera to make an audience believe that the people are in love on the camera.
Like, I know,
that's
but
a misconception.
Hollywood wants that sexualization.
No, because sex sells. No, that's a misconception. You can write and with body language and word choice and other actions that don't involve kissing or sex or anything like that, you can make an audience believe that 2 people are married. I just wanted to make that clear. David Terrell Green taught me that.
Yeah, but Neil McDonough, I think he's a good actor. He's found his role in a lot of movies. He has his faith. He's faithful to his wife. So like, I am starting to see like this shift. I think the Daily Wire has been so cringy whenever they try to produce their own stuff.
Yep.
Like, just get Adam Carolla to help you.
The problem is you don't want to overcorrect when it comes to the culture.
And they're
war.
overcorrecting.
You don't want to overcorrect. You don't want to make movies that are blatantly conservative. Sound of Freedom did a good job at not being blatantly conservative or blatantly biased, right? It was a movie with underlying themes, which is what the left has mastered. They're getting more bold recently, and I think it's starting to backfire on them. But very rarely, for the longest time, did you see movies that were in-your-face political message unless they were advertised as that.
And that is exactly...
Up until recently. But that's what the left had, those subtle messages. messages, and it was just like subliminal messaging and programming the youth and the younger people and everyone that went to see these movies, and that's how they were able to take the culture over. It was just implementing these ideas in their brains quietly. They weren't in your face about it, and that's the thing, is when you make a movie that's blatantly conservative, the only people who are going to watch it are conservatives. You're preaching to the choir, and you're not actually going out and evangelizing.
No. And that's what you see with Daily Wire, because when they did their documentary about What is a Woman, I watched it. I thought it was funny, but then again, it was an overcorrection.
But everyone that's going to watch that movie has made their mind up on that subject.
Right.
Yep.
And then they're having a new one where they're making fun of men playing women's sports.
Yep.
And it's an overcorrection. It's listed as a comedy, but it's an overcorrection.
Yep. All right. We could talk about this all day, truly. Let's talk about culture a little bit more. Dave Chappelle released his new Netflix special. Have you watched it yet?
I have not watched it.
I saw it live, so I'm not in a big hurry to watch.
The one in Omaha was...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that wasn't the one they shot, but he was working on material.
Okay, he was working. Okay.
Yeah, so I saw most of what he's going to say live, or at least a variation of it. It was funny. I mean, I'm kind of at a point where I'm spoiled. I grew up watching Chappelle, right? I'm kind of at a point where I'm spoiled with him, where everything I hear from Dave Chappelle, the last time it was so good, I'm just like, okay, this next one's going to be even better. And that's where I set myself up for disappointment, because it's not. It's good. It's better than anything I will probably ever write. But I'm disappointed because it didn't do better than the last one. He's at an A+ and can't get an A++ right now. That's the problem.
I just feel like, because like I know him from his style of the 90s from the Chappelle Show.
That was my favorite. Yes.
Yeah. So, and it's just a different style.
He's
now.
evolved.
Yeah.
He's matured. He's not, I mean, like the old Dave Chappelle where he was talking about Sesame Street, and I'm the poorest motherfucker on Sesame Street. That Dave Chappelle, you know, the Clayton Bixby Dave Chappelle, he's evolved. He's more of a storyteller. He's a social commentator, but he's still funny in how he does it, and he does it in a way that nobody else could. You haven't seen it, you said?
No, I have not seen it.
Well, that's the thing, is you've got the same couple of retards ranting about it on social media because they had already made their mind up about it before they saw it. They knew what he was going to talk about, and then they went and watched it, spent an hour of their time on something they knew that was going to piss them off, and watched it anyway just to get pissed off. These are the people that want to control this country and control the things we can say and do. Could we maybe argue that people that are of that unhealthy of a mindset should probably not be telling the rest of us how to live?
Why would you just spend the money, spend the time to do something for over an hour to piss you off? Like, I'm not going to buy tickets to WNBA, okay?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to piss myself off.
Well, right. Well, also, naps are free.
Right.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Go take a nap. That's more productive. Literally more
Actually,
productive
no.
than
The people that are getting pissed off, go to the gym for that hour. It will suit you so much better.
Well, here's the thing. You seen the people getting pissed about the Chappelle thing?
They haven't seen a gym in years.
Those people would burst into flames if they walked into a gym. That's... They're so fat, lazy, and worthless, they don't even sign up for a membership on New Year's and like lie to themselves about how they're going to stick to it this time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.